Chloe, this time I've got a really sticky, disgusting, and sad story from an old comic book store in 1970s Seoul. It's about the woman under the floorboards. After you hear this, you'll think twice every time you see an old, creaky floor. The story's protagonist is a man named Hansu, who recently took over an old comic book rental store in his neighborhood. It was summer vacation, so the store was packed with kids and business was pretty good. About a month in, the building's owner, an old man named Elder Kang, came to collect the rent. He was quite pleased with Hansu for paying on time, unlike the previous owner. But as Elder Kang looked around the store, his expression began to sour. There were flies swarming around a trash can in the corner, and a musty smell seemed to be coming from somewhere. He started complaining that the place was never this filthy when the widow was running it alone. That was just the beginning, Chloe. A few days later, the lady from the shop next door came running in, her face pale. She started screaming that her own store was becoming infested with maggots and that they were coming from his comic book store. From that point on, the comic book store turned into a disgusting maggot hell. At first, it was just one or two in a dark corner, but soon they were crawling out from between the pages of comic books, from under the chairs, even from inside bags of snacks. The whole store reeked of something like rotting flesh, and the kids stopped coming. Eventually, Elder Kang exploded. He told Hansu to fix the problem immediately or get out. Hansu was at his wit's end. No matter how much he cleaned or sprayed insecticide, the maggots would just reappear the next day. He knew there had to be a source. So, one day, he closed the store and started a massive deep clean. It happened when he moved a heavy bookshelf in the corner. He noticed that a section of the floorboards underneath was loose, slightly raised from the rest. Wrapped in a sense of foreboding, he pried open the creaking floorboard and froze on the spot. Underneath the floor, in a shallow dirt pit covered by a teeming mass of maggots, was the decaying corpse of a person. The police arrived and all the secrets began to unravel. The body was identified as the previous owner of the store, a woman named Misuk, who Elder Kang thought had just skipped town without paying rent. And what was even more chilling was that in her decaying hand, she was tightly clutching someone's ID card. The ID card belonged to a pale, introverted young man named Ki-young. He was a regular at the store who used to come every day and sit for hours until the national curfew. To the weary Misuk, the quiet Ki-young was just a regular customer. Nothing more, nothing less. The incident happened on a particularly hot summer night just before the curfew. Misuk and Ki-young were the only two left in the store. Perhaps it was because of the sleeveless shirt Misuk was wearing that day. The quiet Ki-young suddenly attacked her, and after a terrible scream, she was murdered. He had hidden her body by tearing up the floorboards right under the spot he always used to sit. And suddenly, all the bizarre phenomena made sense. The unexplainable stench and the endless maggots. It was all a desperate signal from the spirit of Misuk, trapped and wronged beneath the floor, crying out for her body to be found, for her death to be known to the world. But Chloe, here's the truly bizarre, unsolved mystery. The killer was caught and the case was solved. But how on earth did it happen? How did the victim, Misuk, in the final moments of her life, manage to get her killer's ID card and clench it so tightly in her hand?